The research outcome has got 3 performance standards, and the first one is this thing called synthesis. It basically means bringing things together, and by things we mean really your sources of information, which you've already brought together really by doing your cross-referencing. So it means using your cross-referencing, all the things that you've brought together, and presenting them in a well-expressed and well-structured whatever whole that is suited to your research. The best way to explain this probably is looking at examples. So let's say you've done some research into why did Henry VIII have 6 wives, and maybe you're thinking of 3 options. You might be thinking of an essay, maybe, a magazine article, or you might be really thinking out there and thinking, oh, well, I wouldn't mind trying to teach a lesson to Year 8 students about this. I think they might be interested. So which one would you choose? Well, there's no right answer here. It all comes down to your strengths and then what you want to do. So with an essay, for example, it's a good idea, but you'd probably have to phrase your question more like a history essay. Ask a history teacher, basically. Magazine article, yep. Again, it's a good idea if you've got skills in this area, or in fact, if you want to develop skills in this area, that's great. Just make sure you choose a particular type of article to write and get a model of it to kind of follow. And again, you could teach a lesson to Year 8 students as well, incorporating all your research in a slightly different way. And again, it's a good idea if it's your strength or if you want to develop some skills in the area. All of those things and other options as well would bring your research together quite nicely. Let's have a look at this one. What particular types of cuisine, i.e. cooking, are associated with fine dining experiences? Now, this is slightly different because it depends how you want to present your research on fine dining. Do you want to present it visually in the sense of maybe a web page or something, or even a poster? If you did an essay, well, you probably wouldn't be able to present the different types of cuisine in a visual format, and obviously you wouldn't be able to present it in in film format at all. So I wonder which one you'd choose here. Well, 1 and 2, pretty good ideas, I reckon. Probably not an essay. This question itself doesn't lend itself to an essay. There are lots of other ways it could be put into an outcome. I mean, you could do a film, actually. That would be good. Podcast, maybe not, because normally we tend to want to see the actual cooking examples. All right, what about this one? How important is a wine label in influencing people to buy wine? Would you do a report, a podcast, some sort of film clip, doco, news clip? Well, all of them really. You could do all of these. The report is appropriate. It could include visuals because it might be good to include some wine labels as examples. You'd probably have to think about who you were writing it for, as in target audience. With a podcast could be appropriate. You could even include extracts from interviews with people in a podcast if you wanted to. And likewise, film documentary or a news clip. Always remember with film docos, etc., they do take a lot of time to produce, but then they are really good ways of reporting your findings. It's ultimately up to your strengths and the topic that you've chosen and the amount of time you've got available to you. So here's the question. Are you bringing your research together and presenting it in the best way?